Now, you bought the notebook in 2008 for 70 pounds.
For 70 pounds, that's right.
How long after you saw it did you buy it, and how long after you bought it did you begin work on this project?
In 2008, I got a catalog from an English bookseller named Charles Cox, who specializes in Victorian literature, first editions and manuscripts and letters and things of that sort. He puts together very interesting catalogs, and they're usually of modestly priced things. And I saw this manuscript notebook mentioned there for 70 pounds, and it was described as being largely unpublished works by a poet who'd won the Newdigate Prize at Oxford in 1887. And I was intrigued by that because I'd never heard of this man, Sidney Alexander. As I read through it, I realized that Sidney Alexander may be not the greatest poet in the Victorian age. He may be one of the deservedly obscure poets of English literary history. Even his strongest poetry, I think, will never be anthologized in the Norton Anthology of English literature. But it is an interesting cultural artifact because he was a precocious and interested young poet in the early 1880s and then stretching right up to about 1891. And that's just the time in English poetry when the movements for art's sake and aestheticism were beginning to develop. So you can actually see in his poetry a change and an evolution.
Is there any evidence in this notebook as to his thought process in making the switch from a literary life to the ecclesiastic?
At one time I thought, I don't know if there's any truth to it, but he was very ambitious, and he finally wanted to be the dean of St. Paul's Cathedral. And he was very bitter and very angry that he was not, he never rose to that position. At one time I had in mind that he might have been modeling his career on John Donne. Or the other person that I had in mind as I was working on this, falsely, was Gerard Manley Hopkins, who, of course, is one of the great religious poets of the 19th century. And I thought to myself, well, here I have a religious poet from roughly the time that Gerard Manley Hopkins was writing religious poetry, Victorian religious poetry. A manuscript has disappeared. It's come to light many years later. Maybe this is the new Gerard Manley Hopkins. And then as I read his poetry, I realized, no, I said, I knew Gerard Manley Hopkins, and Sidney Alexander is no Gerard Manley Hopkins. It has been published online. It's available through an outfit, the Center, for the Center for Book and Manuscript Studies at the University of London, and they've done a wonderful job with it. It's out there, yeah, and free.